This is Jamie, host of the Jamie Egenti Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie Egenti Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.
Welcome to the Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie, and it's Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024, and it's one day away till Valentine's Day, I assume. So, but anyways, there's no love on this show. No, I can't say that. However, but there was a game that was played on Sunday, the Super Bowl, the last NFL game of the season. Now, I was asked yesterday, what am I going to watch after, no NFL for the next 6 months. But in between, you got the draft, you got free agency, the draft, mini camp, training camp, and then the season, then preseason. So we start with that again. So what do I do after this? And I'll tell y'all after I get to these 5 points. But let's start with the 49ers. Now, Brock Purdy played his best game. There was an argument yesterday between Shannon, Dan Orlovsky, and Stephen A. Smith about Brock Purdy's greatness. And I think Shannon. No, I agree with Shannon with what he said yesterday, but I don't agree with Dan Orlovsky. Okay. Brock Purdy played a good game. He didn't play awesome. He played a good game. Now, awesome will mean, hey, he threw 5 touchdown passes. He was able to hit every wide receiver out there. Not the case. You see, Brock Purdy went 23 for 38 for 255 yards and a touchdown. You know, he there were spurts that he played well enough to get them to victory, but it wasn't enough for me or for the 49ers fans. If that is that's your quarterback, right? But I do give him credit for getting them to the game, to getting them to that big moment, because no pick in the last pick in the draft, they're not supposed to be on the field. This man was committed to his work. His work ethic showed in this game, in this playoff run. It showed in the entire. Let's take it back further. The entire season as well. You know, they even considered Brock Purdy as the MVP candidate, which to me, I don't think that is true. I never considered Brock Purdy as an MVP candidate. I mean, you have elite players on your team that's making you look good. I don't think Brock Purdy was well. I mean, if you put him with no-name players, put him on the Green Bay Packers, replace him with Jordan Love, I don't think Brock Purdy gets them to the playoffs. That's my opinion. I don't think he gets them to the playoffs. Now, with the 49ers, yes. He gets them to the Super Bowl. He gets them to whenever. But I see this quarterback having a future, lasting more than at least, I'm going to give him 5 years in the NFL. At least 5 years, because the average NFL player gets about 2 or 3. You know, guys go on and do other things in life. You know, we may see a surprise retirement, not from Brock Purdy, but from other players. Give or take, it depends on the days. But Brock played well. You know, he played well, and you know, I agree with what the argument of Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp. You know, talking about Brock Purdy played good enough to lead the team to a victory, to almost an upset. But I don't know what type of game Orlovsky was watching, but I didn't see any awesomeness from him. I just saw that he was able to manage the line of scrimmage, and he was able to make the throws when it was there. So, in case in point, he doesn't have to worry about job security, because he will get that big payday. Whenever he's due, he'll get it. Now, let's get to our MVP, Pat Mahomes. 34 for 46 for 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He also ran the ball 9 times for 66 yards. This is his second MVP award, or his third. I think this is his third MVP award in the Super Bowl. This is his third title in 5 Chiefs Super Bowls. This man is 28 years old. He'll be 29 this summer. And he has more championships than Dak. And it's hard to get to the AFC Championship game. Not for Pat. As long as you have the drive and the willingness to win, you get what you want. This wasn't a cakewalk for the Chiefs. The Chiefs struggled throughout the whole season until when it's playoff time, they woke up. They woke up. And people may hate the Chiefs for winning, but I love it because you don't see other teams put that same work ethic in on a day-to-day basis. That's like going to work every day. You see somebody, put in a lot of work for amount of days, months, years, and then all of a sudden somebody comes down the line and hates the fact that you're working towards a goal. That's what they call a hater, right? There's many people that are haters out there. They don't want to see the Chiefs win. Maybe because of Taylor Swift, I don't know. Maybe because of Pat Mahomes has too much swag. Could be the case. But I'd love to see the Chiefs win because it tells me that not all hope, not all players' efforts is lost. Pat Mahomes makes an effort every single day to not only get himself better, but the teammates around him better. So if we had that, if your team had that, wherever you may be, y'all will win. With the Cowboys, we don't have that. We always have drama from parents, from the coaching staff, to parents, to players. Every offseason is dramatic. It's like a soap opera. You can put a soap opera on the Cowboys, and they'll be still number one in drama. But Pat Mahomes gets his job done. Why are we worried about this crap? Pat Mahomes just won his third championship. He's a 3-time MVP in the Super Bowl. Do you know how many guys can't say that? Do you know that most guys don't want to learn from the best? They don't want to learn from Pat Mahomes or more or less Brock Purdy. They want to learn from people that are getting less effort. That's what it is today. So I don't have a problem with Mahomes winning I don't have a problem with Mahomes and the Chiefs winning Super Bowls. Because it tells me that they can leave all the noise to rest and that people continue to pile hate after hate after hate on them every single season. But now you put him in the GOAT conversation. Yes. Oh, definitely. Put him in the GOAT conversation. We will never see this type of play ever again. Like I said before, in basketball, Anthony Edwards is the last. Anthony Edwards is the last player that gives a damn, that goes around, that goes about his business, that gets the job done. In football, you can easily say Pat Mahomes is the last player. You can also say C.J. Stroud, because C.J. Stroud, his play does the talking, not just talking out at the side of your mouth like Dak does. But Pat Mahomes, I can say C.J. Stroud is the last remaining player in this era that cares about effort. And it starts with their head coach. So, number 2, the 49ers. Now, the 49ers not knowing the overtime rules. I call BS on that. I want to hear from Kyle Juszczyk. Now, Kyle Juszczyk, you are a veteran. I think you've been in the league for 8 seasons. How do you not know the overtime rules? But yeah, you want to make some type of excuse. Let's play that clip, please.
You know what? I didn't even realize that the playoff rules were different in overtime, so I assumed you just want the ball because you score a touchdown and win, but I guess that's not the case. So I don't totally know the strategy there. No, we haven't talked about it.
So, you're telling me at 31 years old you don't know the overtime rules, Kyle Juszczyk. At 31 years old, you did not practice that. You are the veteran, one of the veterans on the team. You're telling me and other 49ers fans you did not know the rules. Did you not? We spent 2 weeks going over the rules. In and out. 2 weeks. And you're telling me a lie that says, oh, well, we didn't know the rules for overtime. I call BS on that. How dare you lie? How dare y'all not get educated? Not pick up the phone or pick up your tablet to look up the overtime rules in the NFL. You have more resources than the average NFL fan. The average NFL fan does not want to go on the internet unless you're smart enough to go look at the overtime rules for the NFL. They post it all the time. This isn't training camp. This is football 1-on-1. Every season they're changing something up. Every season. And you're telling me you're not with the times? You're not with it. All y'all, Eric Armstead included, did not know the overtime rules. Really? And is that the reason why you decided to get the ball first and allowed 7:35 on the clock? You allowed this man to drive down the field to win the game. Damn, I wonder what you're going to. I wonder what's going to happen when you retire one day, Kyle. When you retire one day, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder what the excuse will be. We didn't get the job done. We didn't get the job done. Do you know that the Super Bowl is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make yourself great? To have every lasting moment. To not give an excuse of why you lost the game. You lost the game because you got the ball first. You lost the game because you couldn't stop Pat Mahomes in the second half. Your defense. There's nothing to it. So don't lie to me. Don't lie to 49ers that you didn't know the overtime rules. Or else it would have been a little different. I kind of knew the overtime rules. And I said, okay, well, the overtime rule states that you got to score a touchdown. I have it here. Both teams get a possession at the ball, no matter if a team scores a touchdown on the open possession or not. That's the Super Bowl rules for overtime. In the playoffs, I think it's a little different. I think in the playoffs, you have to score. You have to. I think it's like the regular season. You score the field goal, but you go for a touchdown. But in this case in mine, you still score a touchdown. Sorry, not a touchdown. In this case in mine, if there's a field goal, you score a touchdown, you win the game. I think that's in the playoffs and the regular season as well. So, I mean, my question is, were you not educated on it, or did you not care to listen, or did someone in that huddle remind you? I think that it was posted on the board on the field. You could have looked up and said, "Hey, there's the overtime rules. This is what we need to do." There's a lot of resources for y'all to have, but yet you're not taking advantage of it. You make excuses of we didn't know the overtime rules. We didn't know we cost ourselves the game. So is that the NFL's fault or is that your fault? Take some accountability. I think it's your fault. Number 3, both defenses played well. They gave it their all. Now, the point of this game, the Chiefs, they had a fumble recovery and they pressured Brock Purdy 10 times. So that tells me that Brock Purdy can be pressured. Brock Purdy is not the man that we're supposed to. That he's not an all-star. He's just a quarterback. He's the best one that San Francisco has out of Jimmy and Trey. And then they had defensive stance in overtime. So the Chiefs did. The Chiefs had a big defensive stand in overtime because remember that Chris Jones, excellent job on him. He came up and pressured Brock on that third down when they were supposed to score a touchdown. But I was asked yesterday if Chris Jones should have got the MVP. I think he should have had the MVP because of his pressure, because of his willingness to win. And bringing the guys together and said, we can't play like this. We cannot play like, and that shows leadership. Christian McCaffrey had 80 yards on 22 carries. So to me, in order for the 49ers to win this game, I thought Christian may have had 100 yards. But on 22 carries, that's not bad. But it's good defense because they were able to block off the holes and not get that second level gear. He only did it once, but it wasn't all the time. So both defenses prepared. Now, the 49ers, they went after Patrick Mahomes 3 times. They sacked him 3 times. They intercepted him once. They recovered a fumble as San Francisco did. But the good thing is that nobody scored all those turnovers. No one. It was just drives after drives after drives. It was long, boring drives, but it had every greatness to it. So I want to hear from Kyle Shanahan. Let's hear from Kyle Shanahan. I want to speak to him real quick before I move on to my next point.
It was 2 real good teams, back and forth throughout the whole game, and both teams played their asses off, but and then they got it done. We all hurt. Everyone knows how it feels, and don't have a lot of words for it, but obviously we're hurting. Our team's hurting, but that's how it goes when you put yourself out there. I'm real proud of our guys for no regrets with our team. I thought our guys played so hard today. Not everything was perfect by no means, but I'm going to lose with a group of guys. Let's do it with those guys anytime, and we'll take some time. We'll get over this, and come back next year ready to go. No, we never thought about there, 4th and 4. Even if we do go and score, they still can go down and match it, and so no, there wasn't a thought there. It's just something we talked about with, none of us have a ton of experience of it, but we went through all the analytics and talked with those guys, and we just thought it'd be better. We wanted the ball third. If both teams matched and scored, we wanted to be the ones who had the chance to go win, and we got that field goal, so we knew we had to hold them to at least to a field goal, and if we did, then we felt it was in our hands after that. Greenlaw tore his Achilles. I'm not sure about George. It was a shoulder thing. He couldn't go there at the end. Was a little bit off and on, but he was playing through a lot of pain there and then.
So, anyways, that was Kyle Shanahan, the final press conference I'm just giving a shout out to Drake Greenlaw. Unfortunate injury, tore his Achilles, running on the field, no contact or anything, just tore his Achilles. He won't be ready till next season, next season, which is 2025. But those injuries do change you. they do change how you move and all that stuff. So I just want to send my prayers to Dre Greenlaw. But Kyle, I want to say this to you. I don't think you should be making. I mean, I get you want to fight with your guys. I get that you want to talk to the analytics department. I understand. Do you realize that you have an MVP quarterback in Pat Mahomes? You don't want to put the ball in the hands of the quarterback. I'm sorry, in his hands, and allow him to score with no time on the clock. This is why when the 49ers won that toss in overtime, I said, okay, maybe they're going down, score a touchdown, but in this case, when Chris Jones made that big play, I said no. I said, this game's over. This game's over. This is why you tell your players, let's get the ball second in overtime. Let's let our defense was riding on momentum in the fourth quarter. Our defense stopped them twice. And I mean like touchdowns. They forced field goals. So let's get our defense back on the field. And let's stop Pat Mahomes. Let's force his hand. Let's make him tired. He just came off the field. Let's make him fatigued. But instead, you didn't do that. You want the ball, and they force you to score a field goal. Which to me, that's not Kyle Shanahan. I'm not saying he should be fired for his Super Bowl mistakes, but have some accountability, Kyle. I think that game's on you. You did all that work, and now players have to go to the offseason just wondering what could have been. What could have been if we would have won the game? If we would have won, if we would have done everything right, what could have been? I'm pretty sure that's what the 49ers players are saying. And some coaches as well. What could have been if we would have got the ball second and allowed our quarterback to lead us down the field? Would the Chiefs stop y'all? I don't think they would have. But then again, I'm not cheering for the Chiefs. I wasn't cheering for the 49ers. I knew the Chiefs would win because, you got an MVP quarterback, and Pat Mahomes can get the job done. Speaking of Pat Mahomes, number 4, is Mahomes the GOAT? Now you're going to hear this conversation all season long. You're going to compare it to Tom Brady. There's no other comparison. You're not going to compare him to Dak. And we're here in Dallas trying to groom Dak. Dak. This ain't it. Dak. We want you to be the best version of yourself. We are tired of you making excuses every single offseason. Every single offseason, you have an excuse of why you couldn't make it to the big dance. Why you couldn't make it big? We always have that excuse in you, Dak. We always have that excuse. I just don't know why. Pat Mahomes is a 3-time MVP champ in the Super Bowl. He's a 3-time champion. What else does he need to do? They're going for another repeat next season. He said 2 weeks from now, we're getting back to work. So around March the 1st, they're going to get back to work. Because you got to remember, they have Jim Harbaugh, I almost call them San Diego Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, and you got Antonio Pierce with the Raiders. So those are their 2 competitions that they got to face in that division. But yet it's like we're trying to convince him to be better. Be better at quarterback, Dak. Like I said, Pat Mahomes has 3 MVPs in the Super Bowl. There's not even a comparison right now. So, this is what we got to do. It is what it is. Now, let me get to my final point. My final take of the NFL season. Because when it comes down to the NFL, we won't. I mean, we may talk about it, but we'll talk about the draft and see what I like about it. So, my final take: San Francisco 22, the Chiefs 25. Okay. Usher performed at the half. There's a lot of controversies, guys. There's always, I think, every Super Bowl, you're going to have controversies. Every Super Bowl, people may not like, people may not like exposure. People may not like guys taking off their shirts, which Usher did. You know, Adam Levine did it. Or you may not like J-Lo and Shakira, or Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop, all those legends in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Rihanna. Like, can't we have a Super Bowl without any controversies? No, we can't, because we got to cater to the other side. We got to cater to all audience. And Usher was all audience. He catered to all. That's why he was there. I thought Usher did fabulous. A+ for me. I can't remember all the songs that he sung. He kept it under 15 minutes. Which to me, I thought, like I said, any iconic artist should get 20 plus minutes because of their greatness, their music, and what they have stood for, and what they have motivated us to be. And Usher has done that. And a little bit of controversy where, you know, Usher did grab, Alicia Keys was there, did grab Alicia from the back. People were like, oh no, it's nothing. To me, that wasn't nothing. That's 20 plus years of friendship. And they were on the song together, My Boo. I think that was in 2004. One of those years. And everybody in high school, well, middle school, high school, were singing that song. Because it was an iconic song. I know this because I was around it. So, to me, I love Usher's performance, and I saw nothing wrong with it. Posty. Now, Post Malone wearing all Cowboys gear, I love his performance as well. So, I love the fact that he was able to perform the national anthem. Now, I don't know. I got to be honest with y'all. I know of Andrea Day. I know of the Black Anthem. I love the fact that it was sung. I have to be respectful, and I say I don't know Andrea Day. I mean, I'll listen to her music. I don't know her. Okay, please don't get on me for not knowing her. I just don't. And she did a fabulous job. Naysayers like full of people like Megyn Kelly, people like Kara Lake, you know, the other people need to be quiet. Need to respect us better then you respect your own race. There's always controversies between this, but I want that anthem to be played at every Super Bowl for forever. Period. Now, New Orleans is next year. I want to be there in New Orleans. I also have two people that I want to perform at the Super Bowl next year. Maybe Lil Wayne. Maybe Lil Wayne brings out everybody that he's worked with in the past. If Lil Wayne's up to it, because he's from New Orleans. If he's up to performing in the Super Bowl next year, I would like to see that. I also like to see who's the artist emerging right now. There's not really much artists emerging right now. You can easily say Taylor Swift, but I don't think Taylor Swift's going to perform because you got to cater to an audience. Taylor Swift caters to all audiences, but it's like there's people like me that look like me will say we need Kendrick Lamar, we need Future, we need Ice Spice, artists that she has worked with in the past. If you're gonna add Taylor Swift to the lineup, you gotta have one of those people, Ice Spice, Future, Kendrick Lamar, that she has worked with in the past, to perform with her on stage, if that were to be the case. Now, goes Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's going to bring out whoever he's worked with in the past as well. And I think it'll be a phenomenal Super Bowl next season. I just hope I'm there. I want to be there. We'll see what happens because it's what, February the 13th? So we got time. Andy Reid's back. So Andy Reid's not going anywhere anytime soon. Andy Reid is 66 years old. He's not going anywhere soon. He loves to coach. He loves to be around a team field environment. And also, I looked at the replay of Travis Kelce bumping into Andy Reid. First of all, Travis, this man has problems. And I'm talking about Travis Kelce. I get the passion. I love it. But you got to show passion in a different way. You don't bump into an older guy, especially an older gentleman, unexpectedly. There's other ways you could have taken it. You could have said, oh, you're not getting me the ball this way. You're not getting me on that way. And it was the fumble of Isaiah Pacheco that got Travis Kelce animated. Because Travis Kelce was not on that field when they were about to score in the red zone. And so, to me, there's other ways to approach this. I want to see if I have that clip from Andy Reid, please. Let's play that clip.
Andy Reid had that what I call a very engaging conversation.
Oh, you guys saw that?
What was the conversation about?
There were a few cameras.
I mean, was it, hey, I need the ball, I can help us win? What was that about?
Man, it was. I'm gonna keep it between us unless my mic'd up tells the world. But I was just telling him how much I love him.
No, but for real though, I mean, that moment right there, that speaks to the team that we are. Right. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves the game, wants to compete. And Coach Reid wants to compete. Yeah. If you watch out, you might get a little bit too. So I mean, that's just the type of mentality we've always had. That's why we can win games like we won today.
So I understand Pat and I understand Travis. I get it. But Travis, who are you fooling? You're not fooling me. Every athlete or any former athlete can see the emotion that you showed on the field. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing for you. It was embarrassing for the Chiefs. Even embarrassing for Taylor Swift. So, have some class next time. All right. Well, here's what happened. Speaking of Taylor Swift, they showed the camera on her 10 times. And I got an alert on Sunday. I think it was Sunday around 3 o'clock local time that said Taylor Swift was there. And I said, my gosh, she got there. Now, my question is, did she get some rest? Because that's 17 hours you're on a private jet getting to the game to watch your man play football. Man, I wish someone would do that for me. But she took a private jet for 17 hours to go watch Travis Kelce play football. Excuse me. Incredible. But they didn't start showing her till like the second quarter, and then every time Travis Kelce made a catch in the second half, they showed her a lot, especially after the celebration. So, to me, the 49ers did a fabulous job neutralizing Travis Kelce. They knew that Travis Kelce was a main guy in their offense. They were going to give Rashid Rice every opportunity. They were going to give Vasquez every opportunity. They're going to do all that stuff. But they did a fabulous job matching up with Travis Kelce. And so to me, and I was waiting for that proposal, but I don't think people understand that you can't get proposed on within 5 months of dating each other. I don't think that. I think you got to give it another year or two. And if in another year they're still at it, then I do think that it will happen. But they got to get to the Super Bowl first. It's going to be a long journey next season as well. So, it was the most watched. So, there you go. You brought in the numbers. There you go. Usher also brought out Lil Jon, Jermaine Dupri, Alicia Keys, like I said, will.i.am, and Ludacris, and her. And I'm like, well, Usher will be here in October. I think October the 4th he'll be here. So I don't know if I'm going to go to or not. So we'll see. So I like the whole entire performance. I give it an A+. Now, other NFL news. Dallas finally gets their defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer is 67 years old, former coach of the Minnesota Vikings, defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals back then. But he was the defensive coordinator when Wade Phillips or Jason Garrett was a coach, or Bill Parcells, and one of those guys. That's other NFL news. That's what was reported as of yesterday. They had to finalize everything and do all that stuff. So you want to get the man in early, so that you start initiating what type of scheme y'all are running. And in this case, you're running a scheme that is going to cater to everyone. No, sorry. You're running a scheme that may not work. We'll see. That's the only other NFL legitimate news that we have. Now, the NFL season, like I said, is done and over with. I was asked yesterday, what do I plan to watch football-wise? Honestly, I plan on watching the UCFL, or I almost call it UCF. No, that's the University of Central Florida, by the way. One of the Rock's leagues. The Rock owns it, and the reason why I plan on watching it is because I want to see what the NFL is missing. I want to see the talent level these players are implementing on the field basis. And I have said this before. I have said the NFL needs to invest in something like this. Maybe work in a partnership with the NFL on this, because you got guys that are hungry to get that next step. You guys Devontae Turpin for that, and other players that have been through that. And so I always want that for the NFL to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. But I always want it to happen. So, with that being said, that's what I plan on watching. And that season starts in March 30th, the last day in March. The second to last day in March. That starts March 30th. So you're telling me I got to wait 6 more weeks for that. The NCAA tournament will be on. We'll be talking a bunch of basketball stuff in this podcast. But as far as watching that, yeah, I'll wait. So, but as far as the NFL will have their free agency. I don't know the date that will happen. I know a lot of guys will be signed. I know for the Cowboys, we gotta be active. We got to be active. I know for the NFL is going to make some changes in the offseason. I know for the draft, players are going to get drafted. We're going to go over the draft and all as well and all that stuff. So, I mean, and scouting combine, we're going to go through all that. Their pro days, we're going to go through all that, man. I mean, it's all great stuff. But I'll be here watching all old NFL games for the time being. Now, that's my final NFL take of the season. Now, like I said, if anything breaks, I'll bring it to y'all. Wholeheartedly, I'll bring it to y'all. Now, I want to get to my basketball stuff. I want to get to my meat green stuff because that's important. Now, over the last week, I saw that North Texas men's basketball has been off and on. They are, if I can remember correctly, they're 12 and 9. No, sorry, 13 and 9 in their right now, and 6 and 5 in their conference. They beat Tulsa 68-55 last Wednesday. Aaron Scott went for 18 and 10. The number one key in this one was North Texas shot 44%, and they beat a worthless Tulsa team. Also, this game, another game on SNU that I saw on Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. SNU beats North Texas 71-68. That's SNU beating North Texas. Now, Jason Edwards had 18 points in that one. I'm advocating Robert Allen to start. Robert Allen provides a lot of athleticism in that lineup. Whenever he's in the game, he's running down the court, grabbing every rebound, making every hustle play. I think he's a better option than Sissoko is on the court. Because I noticed that this league that we're playing in, they're very athletic. You can ask SMU, because SMU probably blocked at least 3 or 4 shots at the rim. And you don't anticipate a guy coming from behind to block your shots. This is where you're trying to avoid another defender. So to me, you have to understand, you got to have some athleticism in North Texas. You got to have some athleticism in the lineup. I don't think Sissoko is that. Because he pisses me off when he's in the lineup. He pisses me off by his play. His play has progressed. He's not grabbing the rebounds like we're supposed to. He's not protecting the paint. Why is it that the guards and they're shooting their small forwards are getting baskets in the paint? Why is that? He's not blocking shots. He's doing nothing. at all. He's not even scoring. It's like you're asking him to not score the basketball, even though you're 2 feet away from the basket. How are you supposed to get 10 points and 10 rebounds from you when you're passing the ball out? Score the basketball. We need everybody. I am tired of seeing Sissoko get the ball down there, back his man down 3 times, and put up junk shots. I'm tired of that scene. I'm tired of seeing that. It's like they're acting, like I said, it's like you're asking him to not score the basketball. We need points in the paint. Teams are killing us with their movement in the paint. They're killing us. We don't know how to stop anything but ourselves. That's why I'm so tired. Another thing is droughts. We went 2 for 11 in a 5-minute span on droughts. We were not taking the right shots. We were setting for jump shots instead of attacking. So we went 4 for 5 at the free. We shot 5 free throws. We made 4 of them. 5 free throws. In a college basketball game, everybody gets 10, 20. I can understand 10, but 5? 5. The amount of quickness that SMU showed, they could have easily fouled y'all at the basket, but yet you decided to shoot jump shots. You went to the line 5 times. What in the world? And then you got to give them credit. You got to give SMU credit because they were flying around. They made the baskets they were supposed to make, and they won the game. And I honestly think they can win the conference. This was a bad loss. And like I told you, I'm concerned about Sissoko's play. I'm concerned. I'm concerned because we're not getting the right amount of effort from him. We're not getting the right amount of engagement from him. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what type of player Sissoko is. We don't know that. We love his story. But what type of player moving forward are you going to be? We don't have big men on the bench. Our depth is limited. And North Texas is telling this man to not score the basket. You're telling this man, hey, let's let Aaron Scott, Jason Edwards, and others score the basketball. That's not a winning formula, guys. We need inside points. If our guys are not going downhill, we're going to settle for a jump shooting team. We're not going to win a lot of games. We are not going to win a lot of games, and that's probably the reason why our record is 6-5 in conference, and we're barely making it right now. That's probably why. I just don't get it. I don't get why we make basketball so hard to digest. It's not that hard. Let's score in the paint for once. Let's get some paint touches. Because if we don't get them, then we're screwed. We're going to take that jump shot shooting team to the tournament in Fort Worth next month. We're going to take that team next month, moving forward. If we don't get the downhill, you're going to take that team moving forward against any other team. And we feel great about it, according to DJ Draper 2 weeks ago. We feel great about what North Texas is. Like, dude, we haven't won anything. You feel great about this team shooting a bunch of jump shots and not getting a paint touch? I know the game of basketball has fallen off because a lot of these people don't want to get in the paint and bang in the paint and get shots. All they want to do is have a jump shot. They want you to have a jump shot. They want to make sure that within 5 minutes left of the game that you make your jump shot while you're tired. Instead of just attacking the basket. Oh, no problem. No problem. We're not going to attack the basket. We're just going to shoot jump shot. Period. I really hope that North Texas gets their act straight. Because there's 2 crucial games. They got Memphis. Huge game on Thursday night. Huge game. And I'm pretty sure that place will be semi-packed. Because it's Denton. And no one goes to the games. You're not like Memphis. Memphis, everybody goes to the games. North Texas, no one goes to the games. The biggest thing is we get like 7,000 people in that arena. We're supposed to get at least 10. Full capacity. Denton is becoming a bigger city, guys. Basketball is there. North Texas needs your support. Go support them. Because that's a big game against Penny Hardaway. Against an NBA legend. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but he's making his mark on the Memphis program. And then also is the return of Sean. He was one of my assistant coaches at North Texas. I can't remember his name, but I'm going to get his name when we go to break. But he was one of my coaches at North Texas. I saw him 4 years ago. He is the assistant coach of Memphis. At Memphis. And he was one of the few coaches on that staff in 2010-2011 season. He praised my effort on the court. If he was the head coach, I would have played all the minutes. Seriously, as a walk-on, I would have played all the minutes. So I'm gonna get his name in a second, but this is a crucial week. You got Memphis, and then you got UAB next Sunday. Now, you're facing UAB. This is like the 6th time you played against them in the last year or so. You know UAB. You're playing at their place. You know UAB. You know how they fall. You know how their game is. You have to take care of Memphis. I know Memphis scores a lot of points. I get it. And North Texas is not. I question. I'm concerned because North Texas does not score a lot of points. They don't score a lot of points. They don't give up a lot of points either, but they don't score a lot. So I'm literally concerned for this Memphis game. More like UAB. I think. I don't know. This is going to be a crucial week, and we're going to see what type of team comes out of this. Because right now, I can honestly say this is not the best year ever. This is not. I thought that we will improve our offense. I mean, we got the defense down. I think we can play defense to a T. But I want to understand what type of team we have this week. And it will show a lot. It will just show a lot. Let's move on to women's basketball. Women's basketball against SMU. They beat SMU 78-65. 6th time this season they beat SMU. Diana Robinson had 22 points off the bench. 22 points and 6 assists. Now, my concern is North Texas defending the paint. Not defending the paint, but defending the post. Because Shantae Embry had 12 points. And I saw the physicality she was displaying to our North Texas bigs. And we got to get that address at some point. We got to be able to match up with these bigger ladies. Colonel had 9 points. She needs to play physical. They're even considering her for Player of the Year. Now, let me say this. If North Texas stays there, then I think she has it on lock. I definitely do think she should be considered. But if North Texas stays at the first in their first in the conference, then I do think that Desiree would get that honor. It's not a runaway, but I do think she gets that honor. They shot 56% in this game, so that is again another paint touch. They hit the paint more than anybody else. I think you stop North Texas. I think you make them a jump shooting team. They struggle from the outside. Before that, they're 10-0 at home. So North Texas is 10-0 at home. Like I told you, they remain first in the conference, the AAC conference. The weakness is not being consistent, so you got to be consistent. And then you got to get Desiree out of foul trouble. So that's a personal issue that Desiree has to be accustomed to, because you're in foul trouble, we're screwed. Even though Anaya Johnson has played well in spurts, even Jalen Mallard has fallen off a little bit, but I do think over time she will recover. She will be that best player that we have ever seen. Tomorrow, you got FAU. You beat them. You beat them by 34 points. You're at their place. I question what was different on the road. I question that. Also, on Sunday, you got UTSA, another team that you struggle with. Another team that displays a lot of physicality. That y'all have said that you could match. But you can't. But you know what? I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. If y'all at some point in the next 2 weeks can match up physicality with any other team in this league, y'all could win this conference. I'm telling y'all could win this conference. It starts with physicality first. So, both North Texas men's and women's, they got an interesting week this week, and we'll see what happens. Which team comes out on top. So, all right. So I always make this a theme. I'm making it a theme now because there was some controversy last week into this week about Caitlin Clark. And well, there was Cheryl Swoops made some comments about Caitlin Clark adjusting to the WNBA. And I want her to give people, I want her to reiterate what she said. I want to give people what it is on the other side. So let's play the clip from Cheryl Swoops, the ultimate WNBA legend. Said this about Caitlin Clark. Let's get that clip, please.
So when you look at Caitlin Clark and what she's doing now, on the verge of breaking Kelsey Plum's record, obviously generational college basketball career, how do you think her game will translate to the W?
So that's a two-part question for me. Because I say this, yes, records are made and set to be broken. But if you're going to break a record, this isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that player set it.
Okay.
Right? So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record? I don't know.
You think exactly how I
don't think so, but yeah, that'll go in the record books as Caitlin Clark is the all-time, whatever it is. I don't even know what the number is, but that's the way it'll be. And I don't think it should be. And
the sad part is that record would never be broke because
there'll never be another COVID year.
COVID year. Well, there's
right?
never going to be probably another 5 or 6 years you can play in college sports. Yeah. Right? And that's the thing about it, right? Like,
it should be a whole separate entity, right? Like this record is this record because of 5 years, or it has a 5th year, so whoever's playing 5 years, y'all in this lane, right? Normal is here.
Yeah, and it's not to take anything away from what she's done, but if you're talking about breaking records, then if this player did it in this amount of time, then you should do it in that same amount of time. So that's my thought on that.
But this is not NBA, folks. We're not talking about NBA where you played 10 years and I played 20 years. That's not the same. We can only play 4 years, right? If we there 5 years, goddamn it, we redshirted. Well, we're not allowed to play.
Yeah, and
there's no stats.
in the COVID year,
COVID year, I get to play and COVID happened. I'm gonna come back next year and I'm the same grade. Like what? But you averaged 35 last year. I'm gonna average 35 again.
Because to your point, here's the other thing. So she can come back another year. She has another year where she can come back. She doesn't have to go like she doesn't have to.
So what year is this for her?
So this is her. She's a senior. She's a senior, but I think her COVID year was last year or this year. I don't know. She can come back another year.
I just know some of those had chances of playing 6 years.
But let's also talk about how much more experience that gives you over other players coming in, right? So people say, dang, like he or she's killing them. But you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Mm-hmm. Like, you should be killing them. Yeah. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I know she can come back another year.
Yeah, this is her 4th season, though, so she would be.
Oh, she'd be legit.
A senior.
She can just come back one more year if she decided to.
Yes, so that would be her COVID year. Okay. And so she has said she doesn't know if she's leaving or if she's coming back.
Okay.
So these
stats matter. That next year stat, that should just be like we don't even count.
That's true. That is true.
I think she's supposed to get it by some point in early February based on her current projection.
And which she probably will.
Yeah.
Because she can shoot the basketball. So before I answer that, I'm going to go back to something I said before when you asked me the same thing about Angel. And so what I had said was I think Angel will eventually be a good pro. I don't think Angel will come into the league immediately and dominate the way people think she will. And I say that for people who have never watched a WNBA game. It's good. Like there's talent. Like these women can play. And because there are very few roster spots. Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now. Immediately, absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay.
Not on the right team? Like one of them bottom feeding teams that.
So to answer that question, Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Carry on.
I know you like that.
Yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
All right, so you heard from the great Cheryl Swoops. I agree 110% was what Cheryl has said. Caitlin Clark is 8 points away from being an all-time NCAA scoring great. Okay? Now, people in Iowa are wearing shirts that they're disrespecting Cheryl. I saw a little girl in Nebraska wore a Caitlin Clark shirt that literally is disrespecting Cheryl Swoops. It's all this whiteness in Iowa that they have, right? The only thing that is going on, the only two things that's going on right now that is positive in Iowa is Donald Trump and Caitlin Clark. I like Caitlin Clark more than I like Trump. Okay? Y'all want to shit on Cheryl Swoops. Y'all think that Caitlin Clark will come in there and change the whole entire league. So what about Cheryl Swoops? What about Cynthia Cooper? Can we go back a little bit? Can we go back to 1997? From 1997 to 2000, the Houston Comets had Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper, Jeanette Kane, Tiffany Johnson. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Those players. Vic Chancellor was the head coach. And you're telling me that y'all don't know. Y'all telling me those players did not change the league. Cynthia Cooper changed the league by her scoring. She was the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Cheryl Swoops was Scottie Pippen. Janelle played her role. You're telling me that Caitlin Clark is going to come in here and get 40 plus a game? Do the same entire thing in college. Do you realize that if you're on the NBA Fever, do you realize that what's her name? Aaliyah Boston wants her shot. Do you realize that Kaylou Samuelson, who they just signed, wants her shots as well? Do you know that Elizabeth Smith wants her shots as well? You're not going to attempt 30 to 40 shots a game in the league, Caitlin. You're not going to do that. And it's going to be a lot more physical in the league. You're not going to go for 30 every single night. It's not like that anymore. Everybody wants their shots. It is a team game. You have never played in a team environment. Lisa Bloom has ran one play for you. It's for you to get the ball and create for others. Or better yet, create for yourself. Which I have no problem with. Run your offense, Lisa Bloom. If the state of Iowa thinks Lisa Bloom is a great head coach, y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong. This woman will not get y'all past the Sweet 16 this season. And I have one witness in here. One. They will not get past the Sweet 16 this season. They will not. Was one player? Y'all were lucky. Y'all were lucky to play in the national championship game last season. Y'all were lucky. If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark, y'all are not going to the NCAA tournament. But yet you want to shit on Cheryl Swoops and call her every name in the book and tell her that she's wrong. She is absolutely right. 110%. I agree. You're not going to come into this league. Caitlin Clark is going to experience physicality. She's going to get knocked over. It's not like the Big Ten. Again, these teams in the Big Ten don't know how to defend Caitlin. Do you realize they lost to Nebraska? Nebraska didn't even gain her up. Then what Nebraska did is they shut down everybody else, and they allowed Caitlin to go for 30, which she got 30 points. Caitlin went for 30. She got her own, but yet Nebraska was saying, "No, we got like 6 or 7 players. We're going to pass the ball. Everyone's going to get a shot." I think their highest player had 23 points. I can't remember that player's name, but Caitlin is not changing the league, anyone, guys. She's not changing the league at all. The league has changed. Players from old to now have changed the league. Asia Wilson is a 2-time WNBA champ. Becky Hammond, Sandy Bardello, Brand Stewart. The league has a bunch of great players in it. They're fine. They're not going to wait for one player to change the whole entire league because the players that came before us made the league stand. The reason why it's standing because the players that came before us. That's why it's standing. It could have been evaporated and have everybody go play overseas and all that stuff. They It's standing because Cheryl Swoops is still in the game. It's standing because you got coaches like Becky Hammond and Vicki Johnson, former coach, keeping the league strong. It's standing because Asia Wilson knows her talent. Aaliyah Boston knows her talent. They're going to improve. Well, at least Aaliyah Boston is. The league is in fabulous hands. Caitlin is the most attractive player in the draft, yes. Attractive player, absolutely, yes, absolutely. I'm not trying to disrespect her game. Her game is great, but it's transitional. Like LeBron's not gonna get the same stats that he did in high school. It took LeBron time, and to this day, LeBron's still gonna get his stats. Excuse me, Caitlin Clark. It's gonna take her time to get adjusted to the league because you don't have players in your face. Angel Reese. It's gonna take her. I think honestly, she's gonna be a better pro than Caitlin Clark. Just the leadership factor, and then you're not dealing with egos. You're dealing with grown people that have been through it. You're not dealing with egos. And if you make a mistake, rest assured, you're going to be held accountable. And that's Angel Reese. But Caitlin Clark, you're 8 points away. You got Michigan next. You're definitely going to get those points at home. And honestly, we're going to celebrate you. I don't know why this game is not on ESPN. I question why the game is on Peacock. So we got to purchase a streaming service to watch you break the record. No, I'd rather watch it on YouTube. No, thank you. I'd rather watch it on YouTube. I'll watch it on YouTube, and I'll give my takes on it. But nonetheless, everyone, Caitlin Clark, enjoy her now. But next season and on, we'll be praising somebody else. All right, so coming up next, let's talk about some NBA stuff, some NBA trade talk, and also let's dive into some WNBA real quick. So we'll come back and talk about those things next. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Down. Peace up, A-Town. Yeah, okay. Hush. Let's go. Let's go. In the club with my homies, tryna get a little VI, keep it down on the low key. She know how it feels. I saw her shorty, she was checking up for me. From the game, she was spitting in my ear. You would think that she knew me. Decided to cheat. Conversation got heavy. She had me feeling like she's ready to blow. Watch out! She's saying, "Come get me." So I got up and followed her to the floor. She said, "Baby, let's go." When I told her, I said, "Honey, got down." She said, "Come and get me." I got so caught up that she told me. Look at my girl, you be the testimony. Next thing I knew, she was all up on me screaming. She's all up in my head now, got me thinking that it might be a good idea to take her with me. She's ready to leave. Let's go. And I gotta give it real now, 'cause on a 1 to 10, she's a certified 20. But that just ain't me. Hey, 'cause I know if I take that chance, she swears it's gonna leave. But what I do is the way she dance makes shawty alright with me. The way she, I'm like, yeah, just work that out for me. She asked for one more dance, and I'm like, yeah, how the hell am I supposed to leave? And I said, shawty got down, said, "Come and get me." I got so caught up that she told me. Look at my girl, you be the testimony. Next thing I knew, she was all up on me screaming.
Watch out, my outfit's ridiculous. In the club looking so conspicuous. And wow, these women all on the prowl. If you hold the head steady, I'ma melt the cow. And forget about game, I'ma spit the truth. I won't stop till I get them in their birthday suits. So give me the rhythm and it'll be off with their clothes. Then bend over to the front and touch your toes. I left the jag and I took the rolls. If they ain't cutting, then I put them on foot patrol. How you like me now when my pinky's valued over 300,000? Let's drink, you the one to please. Ludacris fill cups like double D. Me and Ursh once more when we leaves them dead. We want a lady in the street, but a freak in the bed that say. Lil Jon got the beat to make your booty go. Take that, rewind it back. Usher got the voice to make your booty go. Take that, rewind it back. Ludacris got the flow to make your booty go. Take that, rewind it back. Lil Jon got the beat to make your booty go.
don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? Ooh, we don't talk anymore like we used to do. I just heard you found the one you've been looking for. I wish I would have known that wasn't me. 'Cause even after all this time I still wonder why I can't move on just the way you did so easily. Don't wanna know the kind of dress you're wearing tonight, if he's holding on to you so tight, the way I did before. I overdosed, should've known your love was a game. Now I can't get you out of my brain. Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? Oh, we don't talk anymore like we used to do. I just hope you're lying next to somebody who knows how to love you like me. There must be a good reason that you're gone. Every now and then I think you might want me to come show up at your door, but I'm just too afraid that I'll be wrong. Don't wanna know if you're looking into her eyes, if she's holding on to you so tight, the way I did before. I overdosed, should've known your love was a game. Now I can't get you out of my brain. Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? Oh, we don't talk anymore like we used to do. Kind of dress you're wearing tonight, if he's giving it to you just right, the way I did before. I overdosed, should've known your love was a game. Now I can't get you out of my brain. Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? Oh, we don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't talk anymore. Way I did before. We don't talk anymore. Can't get you out of my way. Oh, it's such a shame that we don't talk anymore.
All right, welcome back to Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie again. So, the NBA trade happened. All right. So, let me recap everybody, and then I will give my takes because I really didn't invest in the trade deadline this year, but I'm back. So, the Mavs. Now, the Mavs trade wins. Now, the Mavs won this trade. I think overall they won this trade. They got Daniel Gafford from the Wizards and PJ Washington from the Charlotte Hornets. They also got rid of Grant Williams, which he was annoying to me. I didn't see it off the court, but I saw it on the court. He was just annoying to me. I thought Grant Williams would come in and provide a physical presence and provide some type of leadership, but he provided nothing. He was worthless, guys. He was worthless. His shooting became annoyance to me. And so, that's why you got rid of him. PJ Washington is interesting because I never thought that we needed a power forward, but he didn't really stretch the floor. So, I really need that guy. So, I like it. Yeah, he was worthless. So Daniel Gafford had 19 points and 9 rebounds against the Thunder, but he had 16 points and 17 rebounds against his former team last night. PJ Washington had 14 points and 5 rebounds against the Thunder. He also hit, but he had 9 points and 5 rebounds against the Wizards last night. But they beat the Wizards 112 to 104. A little dicey in the stretch, but they beat them. So my message to both players is that y'all are long-term fixes. I don't ever want the Mavs to say, we need a big man, we need a guard, we need a small forward. Dude, you just got your small forward. PJ Washington can play 3 positions on the court. Daniel Gafford, you got him because he's athletic. Another JaVale, way better than JaVale McGee. Way better. In the basketball mind. Young. That's what y'all needed. You needed somebody that can just throw the lob over the rim to Daniel Gafford. You got 2 players. You got Lively when he comes back, and also you got Gafford. Now, to me, I don't know who starts. I will honestly say I will start Gafford over Lively. I think Gafford has the right mindset over Lively. Lively does not have that right now, but in later years he will. He will. So I will start Daniel Gafford in the lineup. I also start PJ Washington too. You need power forwards. You need some type of shooting. So all said and done, when Lively comes back, when Jason Kidd knows his rotation, because the front office has done his thing. They're just waiting for Jason Kidd to implement it. And right now, Jason Kidd has not done that. So this is a difficult task for Jason Kidd to do. And on the second half of the All-Star, in the second half of the season, he has to implement the starting lineup. He has to implement it at some point, right? At some point. So it does open up the floor a little bit for Luka and Hardaway, because most teams will go defend the post down low, and so Kyrie healthy, Luka doing his thing, Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington added some juice, Maxi Kleber. You still have Tim Hardaway Jr. This team is Derrick Jones Jr. This team's becoming a playoff team. It's becoming a playoff team beyond our eyes. They may get the 6th seed, if not the play-in. Like, I don't know what else they need. I look at the roster, I don't know what else they need. It's just the amount of games that they need to win on a consistent basis. They got to win consistently. They got to beat the top teams in the league, Minnesota and the Thunder. You got to put some consistent wins together, and they have done that over the last week. We just got to keep it going. So, it doesn't even matter who they got back. The draft compensation, you can dump that. You can dump that. If you're really going to be serious long term, you could dump that. You could dump those draft picks, because it doesn't matter to the Mavericks right now. The Mavericks want to win, and I think it keeps Luka around. If Luka sees a team that can get to the finals, that can get to a long playoff run in the future, then he will stick around. Number 2, the Knicks. The Knicks keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, the Knicks. Before we talk about last night, the Knicks got Bojan Bogdanovic and Alex Burks from Detroit. Detroit gets Evan Fournier, which that'll be a buyout situation. It's so someone needs like a shooting guard for the stretch run. That Evan Fournier is your guy. Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Ryan Diacono, and draft picks. So that's what Detroit has. And also the Knicks are dealing with injuries. OG Anunoby will miss 3 weeks. Was finger injury, I think. I can't remember, but I can't remember that injury. Mitchell Robinson will miss some time. Julius Randle will miss some time. Just imagine having those players back in a timely fashion And let's see what the Knicks are going to be in the next few weeks. So last night was controversial. So last night what happened was against the Rockets, I only caught the last part of the game was interesting because the last part of the game, they call a foul on Jalen Brunson. The NBA said we messed up, which there should have never been a foul called. So Ed Malloy, the longtime official, I would have expected to be better. And he wasn't. He and his crew wasn't great last night. So Jalen Brunson runs to a guy, right? Runs to Aaron Holiday. Fouls him, right? Usually on a shot like that, you don't call a foul. You don't call a foul like that. Okay? You don't call a foul like that under 5 seconds left. They should have just let it go. You let that shit go. Because 9 times out of 10, that shot's not going to go in. They call a foul. He gets 2 free throws. They look at it. They look at the time. But, 3 free throws. He missed a second on purpose, and then you get the rebound. You call timeout. And then on the timeout, you get, what's it called? On the timeout, you don't get any time. So there should have been at least two tenths of a second left. And 2 tenths of a second left, you can't get a shot off. Well, in the NBA you can, but it's got to be towards the rim. So 2 tenths of a second left, you don't have time to position yourself. You just got to throw the ball at the rim and hope for a tip in. And so they got none of that. And Ed Malloy declared the game over. And Ed Malloy should have been better than this. Ed Malloy, this was his worst game as an official. This man knows the NBA inside and out. You are well respected, sir. You don't call a foul when it was under 5 seconds left, when the guy is out of position. Jalen Brunson ran into that guy because he was out of position. There was no way Aaron Holiday was going to get that shot off. No way. And so, to me, the NBA needs to hold their officials accountable. And you're asking players to not criticize officials because of what? That's the game between life. That's the game between a playoff positioning or not in the playoffs. So 9 times out of 10, you want that win to not only get into the postseason, but to build momentum towards it, so that you can end the first half on a high note. Now you got to deal with that for a couple of days, and then move on to the next game, and then the second half of the season will happen next week, and then it's all gravy downhill. So you won't have to worry about it ever again. So, but nonetheless, I think these players can help immediately. New York has a deeper team, and they shouldn't have a problem getting to the second round of the playoffs. They shouldn't have a problem at all. Actually, past the second round of the playoffs, because they got to the. What am I talking about? Yeah, they beat Cleveland. Yeah, they beat Cleveland, but it's going to be a tough fight. Number 3, I want to get to the WNBA real quick. Elena Delle has decided to take a break for the 2024 season. So she would not play in 2024. Okay? Now, my thought is, okay, that's fine. You know, I never expected Elaine to play past 2025 because of her condition and all the injuries she has endured. And so, to me, it came as a little bit of a surprise that she didn't want to take the 1-year offer the misses were offering to her. You lost your point guard. You lost, who else did you lose? I don't think you lost anyone else. You have the top 10 pick. So I was hoping you invest in a franchise player if you're in the top 10. So So to me, Elaine Delle, you need to take a break. Take a break because you've been a lot. Because most players, I don't get on for not taking a break. I get on because I'm like, you're so young. You're so talented. You could be talented. I got on Ariki Kiri. I'm going to talk to this other player in a second, but Elaine Delle should take a break, and I don't know if she's going to come back to the WNBA. I don't know. Just give her space. I don't know. So the Mystics shouldn't have to worry about it because she's not on your team anymore. You just got to worry about who's on your team now, and how are y'all going to address the draft, and what player are you going to bring in. Free agency is still going on, so y'all can still attack free agency even though you lost your point guard. But Emma Cannon yesterday was signed by the Dallas Wings. Okay, 14-year vet. No, not 14 year. 34 years old. Played for the Fever in 2023. Scrappy player. 34 years old. Played around the world. So there you go. We got some experience now down low. This marks the end for Ariki Kiri. I could be wrong, but Ariki Kiri, remember, 22-year-old lady from Finland, decided to take a break as well. At 22 years old, I don't know. You don't take a break at 22 years old. That's too young. That's too young. You have so much growth. You have so much growth. The offseason, if you didn't want to go overseas to play basketball, just say, I don't want to go overseas to play basketball. That's 8 months of not doing anything. And plus, I don't know how the Dallas Wings were going to utilize her in the rotation anyways. I think this was more of a rotational thing more than a personal thing. But I do want to wish her the best, and I do want to say to Kiri that whatever choice you make, whatever decision you make, we will honor it. We will respect it. We got nothing but love for you. But Emma Cannon comes in with a load of experience. I think that's what the Dallas Wings needed, and they hit it. They got their girl right there. She'll work out right away. It just marks the end. So if one player says, "Oh, we're taking a break," they gotta move quickly to fill that position, which they did. So we're gonna see what happens in the next 3 months because the season starts May 14th. So we'll see. Number 4, the 76ers and the Indiana Pacers are they improving? Now the Pacers got Buddy Hield. No, not the Pacers. No, it's not the Pacers. The Pacers got Buddy Hield from the Pacers. They also got Kyle Lowry. Shout out to Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry signed with the team. So, but the Pacers got Marcus Morris, which that turned into San Antonio. Which, by the way, I don't know why you get rid of Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris is a vet. Marcus Morris is one of the physical players in the league. Pick and pop shooter. Victor needs someone like that to go around with every single day. Every single day you need someone like that to push you around. So I want the Spurs to reconsider keeping Marcus Morris. But then again, I'm not the Spurs. But then again, you gave up Doug McDermott. Doug McDermott was consistently shooting. I thought he would never stay on the team. I thought there was a lot of trade suitors for his services on the Pacers and all this stuff. So I expected the Pacers to not part ways. I expected the Spurs to part ways with Doug McDermott. Even though we'll never go anywhere in the future anytime soon, it shows on our record and it shows the quality players that we have. So, but I did appreciate the victory last night against Toronto, even though Toronto's rebuilding themselves. So, as far as the Pacers goes, they're 30-24 in the East, and that's good for 6th in the East. I was hoping for more defense, but obviously They want to score the ball a lot more, so they're not going to play any defense, and their defense will suffer long term. Now, the 76ers, I don't know where they go from here. Embiid's out till mid-March, as they say. So if you want to rush it, then I wouldn't rush it. I wouldn't advise it because he's your cornerstone of the franchise. You got to keep him around, or else he may go to another team to win a championship, or attempt to get another championship. I'm sorry, to attempt to get a championship. So he said Sixers are all right, man. It's just I'm not going to rush and beat back on the court. Like I agree with Kendrick Perkins saying he's out for the season. To me, he's out for the season. You're having surgery on your knee. You're out for the season. Period. End of story. I hate to hear that from Embiid, or I hate to anticipate that. But you can't rush these knee injuries. You need every part of your body, especially when you're playing basketball. So they didn't do themselves any favors. I don't think the 76ers and the Pacers improved as much as I wanted to see them improve. My last and final point, number 5, the Lakers and the Hawks. Like the Charlotte Hornets, well, not like other teams in the NBA. They didn't do anything. I think they're one of the few, but I pinpoint those teams because we talked about the Lakers trading for players for a month. We talked about, before that, we praised Rob Pelinka for addressing every player in the offseason. And now we get to this conversation as of last week. Why didn't the Lakers trade for anything? Because the Lakers have their team. They just need somebody to implement their scoring. So Spencer Dinwiddie inserts that. Spencer Dinwiddie says, hey, I want to go to a champion, a potential champion. I want to help this team out. I don't think the Mavericks were the best fit. It's just too many guards. And you don't know what to expect from Kyrie, by the way. So, but the Lakers, nonetheless, I like the fact that they were able to get Spencer Dinwiddie. It takes the load off LeBron and AD's shoulders of scoring the basketball, especially LeBron. So it takes that away. Let's get them into the postseason. Does one player get you into the postseason? It's a collective effort. I think the Lakers need to address their health first. Healthy players, quality healthy players have to be first before anything. Before you say, hey, we gotta get to the postseason, because 9 times out of 10, you're not getting to the postseason with the type of roster you have right now. Even though you signed Spencer Dinwiddie yesterday. Now, Atlanta Hawks, they pissed themselves, man. They pissed themselves because they did not do anything. They're 24-30. Right now they're holding the last spot in the play-in tournament. And I'm very surprised they didn't do anything. Because again, that team is not defensive minded. And Quinn Snyder is a defensive minded coach. Why is the score in the 130s? Why is the score even in the 120s for that matter? And you have two quality players that can score the basketball, but yet it's like everybody else can't play defense. Y'all need the defense to travel. Y'all need the consistency on offense. Y'all need the coaching, consistent coaching to travel as well. So, in this case, I don't know what Atlanta does from here. I don't know. But what I do know is that we got a whole season left to figure that out. And I hope that Atlanta at some point figures that out. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to figure it out. You're just going to go with the motions. Period. In the point. So we're gonna see what happens tonight with the Lakers and the Pistons. We saw what happened last night with the Hawks and the Bulls. The The Bulls beat them 136-126. But they play Charlotte tomorrow night, so we'll see what happens. This is the last game of the first half of the season. So we'll see what happens in the second half of the season. Now, next week, we're going to talk about the NBA All-Star Game. Because the NBA All-Star Game is coming along. First, we want to talk about that. 3-point shooting. We're going to talk about the slam dunk contest. We're going to talk about the rising All-Stars. Maybe even throw in the celebrity and the All-Star as well. So we're going to talk about all that, the game itself. Plus, we're going to talk about college basketball, what I saw, what we need to talk about. Maybe Caitlin Clark will definitely get that record. So we'll definitely talk about that. And also the second half of the season, the 5 takeaways of the second half of the season that I want to see that we need to address. So let's address everything next week. So everything will be basketball related unless there is an urgent NFL MLB news coming on between now and next Tuesday. So we're going to dive into all that next week. But I want to thank y'all for listening and watching this podcast. Make sure you subscribe. And I will see y'all next week. It's Beyond the Game on Fishbowl Radio.
Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamie Egenti Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie Egenti Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.